wanted to dig into what you said just then about multi-core systems. And I think this is a perfect time to just quickly discuss the headlines from the APAC commissioned IDC white paper. And it's called Leveraging Digital Core Banking Systems, Next Level Banking. So do you feel, Harry, that this ties in with the general outlook that you're seeing across APAC more broadly?
I think this debate, right, what to do with our current legacy and what to do with the rising expectations and the opportunities out there is a debate I have weekly in boardrooms and with CTOs and CEOs. My view on it is that the white paper lays out quite well all the different options to choose from. I think what you need to lay over that, and Abhishek was also referring to that, right, is the why, where the value is coming from. And then you would see that really a multi-core setup is temporary at best, right? So it is a stopgap, and you create technical debt. And as long as you're very clear about that and can give that a value and can then make ultimately the kind of profit and loss assessment, then that can be a very good reason to keep with some legacy, right? And that might not be the nicest answer to consumers at time, but it might be the best answer from a total system picture. I think if you really are wanting to be a multi-core bank for a long time, I think then either you have multiple business models and it's more like a holding, or you're not being very clear around what technical debt you have and what tough choices you need to make. And that's a dangerous position to be.
I love that. So Harry is really challenging us all right now to look at ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves, what exactly are we trying to do here? And Abhi, you've talked about the why often. So, you know, pulling from the paper, would you agree with Harry as well that we've kind of presented everyone with a few a la carte options, perhaps, to think through that you just touched on? Any other comments there?
Yeah, I actually agree with Harry that it's very easy to do the multi-core option badly. In fact, it's much harder to do it right than to do it badly. And what I mean by that is you could say, oh, let me take the risk-averse option. I'll run both. And you could almost put yourself in the position of having multiple business models, of not knowing where you want to invest the time, the effort, senior leadership time. Is it to kind of start moving things over to this new core, or to focus on reducing tech debt in your existing core? You could actually be in a whole gamut of issues, right? So what I always suggest CIOs, CTOs, CEOs to do is, one, you have to have a very good reason to do multi-core. Two, you have to have a very good plan to do it well. And three, you need to think about the user experience that you're providing to your customers, and how can you actually, in some ways, use the multi-core approach to move your customers along the customer experience value chain, right? Maybe I'll share an example, right? So one example of thinking about multi-core could be where you, once your new core is set up, all the new products that you launch are all digital first products. Like you launch them on the new digital core. And then you almost find a way to work with your customers to say that you could move some of the old legacy products that you have onto the new core by kind of switching over to the new digital products. And yes, that requires customer education. That requires you to spend time with customers. By the way, it requires you to be creative, right? This is a great design problem to solve, right? Like I can imagine design leaders in some of these financial institutions really going like, okay, that's a tricky but interesting problem to solve. So finding ways to do this, and it's critical that you have the why I am doing this answer ready, because it is a question that executives are asked, and they will continue to be asked if they go down the approach of multi-core. If they take the rip and replace approach, it comes with its own set of challenges, and migration is never easy. I have helped a bank migrate customers, and it is challenging is an understatement, right? And it does require, again, extreme planning. It does require thinking about multiple fail-safe options.
Yes, I think Big Bang sounds a lot better than in actual practice.
Exactly. And sometimes it can take you months to get it right. In fact, years if you want to get it right. Sometimes it takes longer to migrate. And by the time you finish the migration, what you've migrated on is already out of date. So it is really important to think about how you will do it. But it all starts with, just like Harry said, it all starts with the why.